Hello everyone, welcome back to bittercode into this debugging series. So in the previous video, you may have seen that we have taken an example where we were debugging about finding the cubes of a number. We debug using the normal print statement way, but this is as I shown, this is not the correct way of debug. So we will go some far from this video and we will see how we can debug using the Eclipse debugger tools. So for that, first we will create a new Java file. So you can right click and then click new and then class. So I'm giving the class name as example B and we can select the public static void main and then click on finish. So now the class has been created. Now we will make some complex into that problem. And here I will write the program to find squares of two numbers. So let me quickly write the program. Okay. So I have written a code simply. So where I'm taking the input and here input for first value and then here I took the input for second value and here I'm doing the execution and then I'm printing the result. Okay. So these are the execution steps. So what we have to do, suppose we are taking one and then the second number is 2, we should return a plus b, that is a square plus b square, that is 1 square plus 2 square. Okay, so now let me run the program. To run the program, you can directly right click here and then click on run as Java application. You can click on OK to save it. So once you run it, you can see there is an option come here which is asking you to enter the value of A and B. Suppose A is 1 and B is 2. So it is saying a square of 1 and 2 is 3. Is it correct? Is it correct? So can we go to here calculation and let's say we are picking 1 square plus 2 square is equal to how much? So it should be 1 plus 4. It should be 5. But but are we getting 5? We are getting something else, 3. So that means there is some problem in our code. So how can we debug it? The first way is to print every line. So we can add a print statement here. So it will be a difficult task for us to add print statement everywhere and then check where is the issue. So next thing we can do is use the Eclipse debugger. So how can we use it? So first know about perspective. What is perspective? So perspective is somewhere. If you go here at the top right corner, you can see there is a open perspective window. If I maximize, you can see there is a open perspective. If you hover over it, open perspective window. And here at the corner, you can see there is Java written. So Java here written is nothing but perspective. If you're not getting this open perspective, you can click on here and then click on search for perspectives. So you can see many perspectives coming here. Debug, Git, Java browsing, and some other. So these are nothing but different kind of perspective. Since we are going to debug, so debug perspective is nothing but a view. So right now you can see at the left side there is a project explorer, package explorer. At the middle we have a code. At the down we have a console. Right we have task list and outline. These are the things we are seeing. So this is nothing but a kind of view in the Eclipse. So this is normal Java view, which is Java perspective. But if we change the perspective, we have to go here as I shown right now, and then click on open perspective. And from here, we can select any perspective as you want. So I'm going to select the debug. So click on debug and click on open. So as soon as you click on the debug perspective, you can see the window changes. So like indirectly the view changes. View means in the left side, you can now see there is a debug option coming. What will come here, we will show in the next few time. And at the bottom, we have as well this console, problems, and then debug cell. So we will see what are these things. At the right, we have three things: variables, breakpoints, expressions also. If these things are not coming, you can directly click on here and search for like variables. If variables is not showing here, you can search for variables and then click on it, it will come here. Okay, so this is all about perspective. Now, how can we debug it? So let me just keep it into a good size and remove some spaces so that it will be easier to view. Okay. Okay. So now what we have to do is we have to start this project in a debug mode, not in a normal mode. To start the project in debug mode, you can right click and then run as, sorry, debug as, and here debug Java application. Or you can do other thing. Here there is an option to debug. If you see here closely, you can see there is a debug example. Till now we were using the run second one. But if you click on debug, it will do the same thing for you. It will start the project in the debug mode. Since it is a single file, right now we are running only one file. We can start manually also. Okay, so now come back and let's see other features. As soon as we click on debug, we can see the project started as usual and it is asking for value of A and B. So if I enter 1 and 2 for A and B, it is saying square sum of 1 and 2 is 3. But still we cannot see any difference. Why? Because there is something like breakpoint. What is breakpoint? Breakpoint is something like, as you know, in Java code, the executions happen line by line, right? Suppose when we run this code, when we given the input, how it happened. First thing, uh, when we compile or when we started this program, this line executes. So scanner class object is created. Then this line is executed. Enter value of A and B. And since this line executed, after that we have a scanner dot next in. So it is expecting something. That's why as soon as we click on this debug, you can see up to here the execution is completed and it is asking for an input. So as soon as we enter these two input, it will go to the next line, execute this statement, and then come up to the next line. So line by line execution is happening. So as soon as we enter 1, 2, it calculates and then returns. So this is the normal flow. But what we do in kind of debugging is we add some breakpoint. What is breakpoint? Breakpoint is like going like stopping the time in terms of coding. So for now, it is happening internally and we are unable to stop the execution up to here, right? But while by using the debugging or debugger, we can stop the execution up to here and then see what is the current value when the program runs from line number 6 to 13. What is the current value of this A and B? Similarly, if we wanted to stop the program at line number 20, we can do that and we can see what are the values up to here, up to this calculation. Okay, so now how can we stop it? That is what we call it as breakpoint. Breakpoint. So here, if you come here and double click, you can see there is a dot symbol appear. So if I zoom out, you can see when you go to any lines of code and if you double click, a dot symbol appears. So this dot symbol is nothing but a line breakpoint. You can see it is showing line breakpoint. If you wanted to add breakpoint somewhere else, you can right click also, and then you will get an options toggle breakpoint. So you will get an option to toggle breakpoint. So you can click here and it will again enable the breakpoint for you. So let me add some breakpoint here. So what is breakpoint? Breakpoint is, as I just said, it stops the program execution when you start some program in debug mode. Stops the program execution till it finds the breakpoint. Till it finds the breakpoint. So we can skip the breakpoint also. There is a skip breakpoint option here. If you see at the top, there is a skip breakpoint option here. Skip all breakpoints. So if you click on this, we can see these breakpoints are again slashed mark. That means crossed. That means these breakpoints are now not enabled. So it is similar as normal running program. But we have to disable it, like enable it. So that this breakpoint, it will stop the program at this point. Okay. So now we have enabled it and we are going to start this project using the debug. So we started it and we can see uh, it's asking the value, but the program execution stopped up to here. This is because we have added a breakpoint here. So this line is not yet executed. Only these two lines are executed. See, even if I enter 12, 13 something here, it will not work because up to here only this line is executed. So now how can we go to the next line? To go to next line, we have a resume button here. So resume button, what it will do? It will go to the next point and execute the lines till it gets the next breakpoint. Till it gets the next breakpoint. So next breakpoint we added in line number 13, right? So it will stop at line number 13. So it will not execute line number 13. It will execute up to 12. It will execute up to 12. So now let's click this resume breakpoint and see what happens. Now we resume the breakpoint and you can see the code stops at line number 30 as I saw because we had a breakpoint added at 30. So it executed up to 10. And if I see a equal to 12 comes here. So whatever input we entered here, that comes here. Now if we give another resume, it takes the another input. So let me enter another input. It takes the another input and then it comes to next breakpoint. That is a square of a. So if we resume again, we can hover over the values, current value. Suppose if you wanted to know the current value of A, you can hover over it and you can get the value as 12. So right till now, the value of A is 12. Till now, the value of B is 1. Till now, the value of A is 12 and B is 1. But what is the value? Since we have crossed one execution level, right? So we should have some value for a squares of A. So what is the value of x squares of a? We can just hover over it and we can see the value of a square of a is 144. That means it calculated the exact value, like correct value. 12 into 12, 144. That is correct value. So similar kind of things you can see in the right side. So if you go to the right side in the variable sections, you can see these are the variables whose current value is showing here. So since we executed only a, b and squares of a, we can see squares of b is not available here because the code have not yet executed and find out the value of squares of b. So it is showing only a, b and squares of a value. Correct? Now let's go to the next, continue this breakpoint and go to the next line. So since we go to the next line, it again added one more thing, that is squares of b, that is 1. Correct? Squares of b, that is 1. Now, now again go to the next point and it is came out of the loop because we have not added a breakpoint at 23. So we have not added a breakpoint at 23. It doesn't stop and it continued executing and it printed the output as squares of sum of 12 and 1 is 13, which is not a correct answer, which is what that is what we are debugging. So now let's resume another like debug another another time. Again this thing happened. Now go to the resume button. So it executed this line and it is expecting some value. So let me enter two values, 1 and 2. And now what happened if I remove this line number 16 breakpoint? So if I remove this line number 16 breakpoint and if I resume now next time, it will not it will not stop at this. Till now you can see it stopped at here. Now it stopped at here. And if I next time resume it, it will not stop here because we don't have any breakpoint here. We have the next breakpoint at 18. So we can stop there. So just click on resume, stop here. So now we can see the values of a, b and squares of a here. Similarly, we can see, now let me add a breakpoint at 23 and now resume it and again resume it. Now we can see up to squares of b, the values were correct, but when we come to result, the values is incorrect. Why? Why? Because we have to debug. So we can see the value of a is 1 and b is 2. So here we are taking the value of a and b, which is not a correct way. We have to take the squares of a and then squares of b, then only result will come. So here we are getting something is wrong here because result could not be 3 for 1 square and 4 square. So we can find out like we have written incorrect statement here. So we can correct this statement here. It should be squares of a plus squares of b. So I think there is a spelling mistake. Let me copy paste it. It should be squares of a and squares of b. Now, now if I run it, let me rerun it and again continue. So it asking for a value 1 and 2. Let me enter it. Now you can see if I go to the next line and again next line, you can see the result is coming as 5. That is why it is squares of a is 1, squares of b is 4. So 1 plus 4, 5. That is, it is giving correct result. And now if we print this statement, it will say sum of squares of a equal to 1, b is 2, and result is 5. So sum of squares of 1 and 4 is 5. So which is a correct. 1 and 2 is 5, which is correct. Right. So in this way, we can use this resume button of debug. This video is going long, so I'm taking the next thing in the next video. So that's all for this video. Thank you for watching this, and please don't forget to like, share, and subscribe.